So we all know what we should be doing during our workouts, but what about the aftermath of that? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some of the things that I would prioritize for recovery and results post-workout. Right, welcome back to another video. This idea I came up with in about 4 or 5 minutes. It's just something I felt as though I wanted to speak about, and that is 5 things that you should never really do post-workout. So we all know that, the sort of training approach inside the gym, but once you actually get outside of the gym, what sort of protocol are you using? Are you prioritizing the things that you should be doing? And the first thing that I wanted to talk about is skipping your cool down. Now, the cool down gradually lowers your heart rate. It's going to help prevent any lactate pooling in your muscles, and it's also going to help give your nervous system a bit of a reset. Now, if you're skipping your cool down, you're going to have a lot more severe DOMs the day after, so it's going to impact your training performance the following day. And ultimately, that is going to affect your motivation the following day as well. If you wake up and you're super fatigued, maybe dehydrated, stiff as well, you're going to feel a lot more immobile and less flexible the day after if you're not prioritizing your cool downs. And a good suitable cool down literally could just be 5 minutes of an incline walk on the treadmill, just to gradually lower your heart rate back down, because you're going to have numerous cardiovascular risks if you just go straight from your main activity with your workout and then completely to rest with no active sort of recovery to bring your heart rate back down. So definitely try and prioritize that, just general stretches, do some static stretches. I would always say for warm-ups, we want to be doing things dynamic, so things that are free-flowing, things where you're actually moving your limbs continuously. And post-workout for your cool down, you want to try and keep things a little bit more static in terms of stretching, just to give you that muscle tension ease, if you will. Next thing is neglecting hydration. Now, when you're in a deficit particularly, and your main body compositional goal is to lose body fat, a lot of people tend to neglect hydration because people confuse hunger with thirst. So, if your urine color is quite yellow, dark, orange, then effectively you just need to drink more. Everyone has a different amount of fluid realistically from their body weight that they need to be consuming. But really, if you just focus on your urine color continuously, when you go to the toilet each time throughout the day, and you see that your urine is clear and transparent, great, you're hydrated enough. And it's also important for your electrolyte balance as well, to make sure we're getting enough potassium, sodium, magnesium for overall nerve signaling, nutrient transportation, which helps prevent or reduce things like cramp, fatigue, or ultimately just slowed recovery as well. During your training sessions, it's important for thermoregulation. So overall, just managing your body temperature and preventing overheating if you're in quite hot or humid conditions as well. There are also some tracking tools. There's an app called Waterlogged, which helps track your hydration throughout the day. Me personally, I just try and have a large 1 litre jug or water bottle that I would keep with me at my desk when I'm working, and just try and take up to 10 sips at least every single hour, or one every 10 to 15 minutes at least. And that usually helps me keep hydrated throughout the day, just because something that I found when I was in a deficit, after training, I would always feel a little bit more hungry, and if I was dehydrated, that would usually result in more detrimental food choices after training, for people that just want that reward factor of having a Mackie D's, a McDonald's, or some fast food after training. That ultimately, if you're dehydrated, that can ultimately lead to that. And also just that general mindset of feeling as though you need extra calories, or if you feel as though you've earned it, so to speak. And that sort of leads me on to talking a little bit about your post-workout meal. You know, not being the right choice is quite a big mistake for a lot of people. Like, you've got like an anabolic window after you train, which is usually within 2 hours. You want to be getting a good ratio, like a 3-to-1 ratio of carbs, fats, and protein, which is backed by research as well. Because it's ideal that for replenishing your muscle glycogen stores and ultimately reducing, you know, muscle protein breakdown. So if you want, you know, optimal recovery for the following day, it's beneficial for you to make sure you're getting a good macronutrient balance for your post-workout meal. Within moderation as well. Like I say, a lot of people will have that reward factor of wanting to get something high calorie, high fat, something that, you know, they feel as though they've earned. But especially if you're trying to lose body fat, you know, for your body composition's sake, you want to try and keep that meal as lean as possible, get enough protein, enough veggies. And if you feel as though you're quite hungry after you train, just load up the veggies, things that are going to be of better nutritional value, that are going to keep you fuller and higher in fiber for longer periods of time. So the next mistake is ignoring sleep when once you've finished your training session. Especially if you're training during the evening, you might feel quite energized just because you have that sort of post-workout feeling. You know, you've got that increase of dopamine and that serotonin rush. So if you've not got like a proper wind down evening routine, it can end up pushing your like sleep schedule back a little bit. And if you've not got that sort of sleep repetitiveness, that schedule to keep discipline to, it can really impact your not just your performance the following day, you know, because research has shown that any less than 6 hours of sleep can massively reduce like your strength and your endurance by around 30%. So you're going to feel weaker in the gym. If you're going to be making more poor food choices. You might opt to have more caffeine consumption. You know, if you're having caffeine later than 3 or 4 in the afternoon because you're tired from the night before, then that's going to impact your sleep for the following evening. And also it's going to impact your cortisol as well, which can also affect how we utilize our energy and how we utilize fat, but also for cardiovascular purposes as well. If you've got high stress, the risks of, you know, cardiovascular disease and other things that follow on from that can be quite higher. So definitely focus on quality, not just quantity. You know, you want to get enough time, but there are ways, you know, like through an Apple Watch app or through like a Street Band, that you can monitor like your strain and your recovery, and then, you know, how long you're spending in deep sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, to see that you're actually getting good quality sleep. That's then, you know, making sure you get enough recovery for the following day as well. So that's everything that I want to go through today for our video. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for the next upload, and let me know what you want me to cover down in the comment section below.